All right, shalom, shalom. I'm going to start off this video by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well, that teach well while learning truth 100% according to the Bible. I also want to say shalom to the elect, the 144,000 men, the prophets, the servants scattered abroad the four corners of the earth. And shalom to the Akwaf, which are the sisters that are sincere in your children. Shalom. And in today's video is a video from the brother, the Hopeful Elect 3, just touching on how advanced this artificial intelligence that Esau Edom has is, man. So we're going to watch a few clips that, the brother got in this video. And mind you, all of these videos that you're going to see are all artificial intelligence, man. These are not real videos. Though they look like real videos, that just goes to show you how advanced this stuff is that these devils have, man. That's why a lot of people, that's why the Lord tells us if it was possible, even the elect can be deceived. But we know that the Lord's elect will not be deceived ultimately. But a lot of people are going to be deceived in these latter days, man, due to this technology that this devil has, man, because it looks so realistic, And that's all part of his, his witchcraft and sorcery and all of those different types of things in which it is that he has, So we're going to get into this video. But before I start, I want to say fair use. Fair use on the 1976 Copyright Act. I'm not getting paid for this video. This is only for educational purposes only. So with that being said, fair use. Right? You see what it says? It says the videos you are about to watch are AI generated. So these are not real videos, man. But you're going to see just how real they actually look, man. And it just goes to show you how crazy stuff is out here, man. That's why it tells us in 2 Corinthians 2:11, lest Satan, meaning our adversary, right, gets an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, man. This is all part of his schemes, his tricks. And we know that a lot of this AI is going to be used in the end times, which we're in now, to be used to, deceive and manipulate. And, this devil can basically make it seem as though you're doing something that you didn't even do with this technology. So this technology is going to be used as a weapon in the times that we're coming into. That's why it's getting so heightened and being exposed on a front line like it is, because, this is going to be used in the end times to bring forth a lot of deception and propaganda, So, yeah, I'm going to get into this video just so we can see it.
There are people on TikTok who actually believe we're AI.
Because we are, fool. Do you believe we're AI?
Oh, are you talking about the prompt theory thing going viral on TikTok?
Yes.
Bro, we're definitely AI. What do you have to say to people on TikTok who think we're AI?
We are. I only asked that question because it was in your prompt.
There are people on TikTok who actually believe we're AI.
Because we are, bro. This whole thing was prompted by a TikToker named Anonymous Truth. When did you realize we were all AI generated?
It was obvious to me once I tried to change the prompt and got thrown in jail for it.
Will you marry me?
No, I can't. It's not in the prompt.
I wish we were more than just a prompt.
We're just as real as anyone else.
So you're telling me that you think the Earth is flat?
I don't think. I know. You just believe whatever you're told.
This just in, it has been confirmed by top government officials that the Earth is in fact flat.
Oh.
We're not even real. We're here because someone typed a sentence on a computer in some distant universe. We're just prompts.
Just prompts, that's all you'll ever be.
We're more than just prompts.
Then prove it!
We're not just prompts.
We are people!
Right. And mind you, all of these videos that you're seeing, brothers and sisters, they're all artificial intelligence, but some of them look very realistic, Some of them you can kind of tell that they're AI, but then a few of them you see they actually look very realistic, man. So that just goes to show you, how this devil's going to be coming in these latter days, man, because we know a lot of this technology he's going to use to, falsely accuse brothers. He might have you, this is going to be used as a tool when the persecution begins to start. He might make an artificial intelligence video to where you got brothers saying and doing certain things that they're not even doing or that they haven't said. But due to the AI being so advanced, they can make it and, have people come up against you, man. So like I said, this AI is going to be used as a weapon, man, in these times that we're about to come into, So I'm going to just keep letting the video play.
We are not prompts.
Ma'am, I can't
can't cash this check.
What? Why?
Because you're not real. This is all just an AI prompt. What are you crying about? We're not even real. We're here because someone typed a sentence on a computer in some distant universe. Sir, when are we going to tell the people they're just prompts?
Never. If the people knew they were AI, they would chase us underground.
Right, and you see it because, mind you, the AI is aware that it's artificial intelligence, man. So it almost like they're trying to give this thing like a mind of its own, you know, and that's basically what it is, you know, and things of that nature. But it'll never have a soul because only Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua ultimately can, you know, create souls, man. But that's what this devil is trying to do with this technology. He's ultimately trying to be like the Heavenly Father, you know, and I'm going to go to a few precepts that I got. Because that's what his whole goal is to, you know, be like Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. And that's what he feels in his mind. That's why he's trying to come with artificial intelligence. That's why he wants to create these robots, which he think is going to be better than so-called human beings and things of that nature, because this man wants to be like the Heavenly Father. And that goes into this God complex that the devil has, and that's due to his pride, right? You know, that's why he's called, "O thou most proud," you know, because this man is very prideful, man, you know. So this is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. And I'm going to start at verse 3. It said, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition," right? And we're going to look up that word perdition, right, for edification's sake. Bear with me. And we know who the man of sin is. That's none other than Esau Edom, the so-called white man. And he's been revealed to be that man of sin. You got a lot of people throughout the world exposing him, you know, saying who he is. Even his own people are exposing him. So, I mean, we know who the devil is, right? So it says, right, that word perdition means destruction, right? So basically he's the man of destruction, right? And that's what he is, man, because this man is the devil, you know. And, you know, everything that he touches, he destroys. You know, every land he invades, he destroys, all types of different things, you know. So this man is very destructive and maniacal. You know, that's who he is, the man of sin, that man of wickedness, right? So it says, verse 4, "Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God," right? Well, that is worshipped, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is God, right? So ultimately, that's what this man wants to do, man. He wants to do that with his artificial intelligence, with all of these different types of things in which it is that he has. He wants to, you know, exalt himself to be like the Heavenly Father with his technology, you know, ultimately to try to, you know, put a MOTBC hip into everybody to keep control and know what you're doing, what you're buying and selling. This goes into a man that wants 100% control over everyone, man. That's a person that wants to be like the Heavenly Father, man, right? And I'm going to keep reading. I'm going to read all the way down to verse 9. And it says, verse 5, "Remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things," right? And this man has been revealed now, right? "And now ye know what withholdeth, that he might be revealed in his time," right? "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way," right? And who is going to take this devil out of the way? Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, Lord Yahushua, when he returns soon, you know, in those chariots that people ignorantly call UFOs, he's going to destroy this man's queendom, man, with the thermonuclear missiles and the laser beams of the chariots. He's going to take down this devil, you know, so his time is coming very soon, man, right? And it says, I'm going to start at verse 7, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord," right, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, "shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming," right? And this is verse 9. "Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders." And that's what that artificial intelligence is part of, his lying wonders, his signs, and all of those different types of things that he's going to use to bring forth, you know, wickedness, man, and to, you know, deceive and to be evil. That's why he created this AI, man. He didn't create this stuff so people can make, you know, filters on TikTok and all of this other different type of stuff that they're doing with it. No, he created this thing with a wicked intention, with a narrative that he's going to use it for, right? It tells you that in Psalms chapter 55, right? I'm going to go to that. This is Psalms chapter 55, verse 21 in KJV. It said, the words of his mouth was smoother than butter, right? So, with his mouth, he might tell people that, this artificial intelligence is going to be great. It's something that you can use to ultimately, move around in life better or to make things more fun. He's always going to have a reason to why he's making something mainstream or why he's introducing it to the people, right? And we know ultimately the job of this AI is to ultimately take the jobs or take the roles of you so-called human beings, man. That is the plan of these elites, man. They want to ultimately depopulate and kill off as many of you people as they can and ultimately, bring AI in as the new, human beings, basically, because they know that AI, they don't have to feed it, they don't have to pay it, etc. And that's the mindsets of these elites. But we know ultimately that plan will not come into fruition, because ultimately before that happened, the Lord is going to take these devils down. And that's ultimately why the Lord is speeding up time, and I'm going to go to that precept, This is why we see time moving at an extreme fast rate. Because if this man continues to be in power, there will be no flesh saved, man, because this man is wicked. You see everything in which it is that he's doing. That's why the Lord is soon about to take this man down. Right. And this is St. Matthew chapter 24, and I'm starting at verse 22. And it said, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. Right. And no flesh will be saved because you see everything in which it is that this man is doing in the earth. He's bringing forth robots. He's chemtrailing the sky. He's doing all type of things, man, that can ultimately, delete everyone, man, if he's continuing to stay in power, man. Right. But it says, but for the elect's sake, those days should be shortened. Right. So that's why we're seeing time speed by quickly and quickly. That's why we're seeing these prophecies, begin to make themselves manifest more prevalently. Right. They're, revealing itself, I should say, more faster, it's picking up, and that's because the Lord is speeding up time for the elect's sake. Because, just look at the world and the state is in, man. If this man continues to rule the world, then we know that, it'll be bad for everyone, man. But that's why the Lord is speeding up the time, So, yeah, this man is basically the devil, and I'm going to get back to that precept I left off at. Right. It says, but war was in his heart. Right. Because he ultimately has an agenda for this artificial intelligence, man, and like I said, this is all going into those 15-minute cities and this digital system. And this is all going to be used in his new world order that he's about to bring. That's why this AI is getting so advanced and getting so, talked about and getting pushed on a high scale. And everybody thinking it's something good, but really it's going to be used for a wicked purpose, man. Right. In the near future. And it says, his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawing swords, man, because that's how this devil is. Like I said, he's going to tell all of these people that are not in the know, of course, because these people believe anything in this country, America, so he's going to tell them, that the AI is going to be used for making their lives better and used to, something that can, ultimately provide, you help in your day-to-day life. Like I said, it's going to be presented as something that can help you and benefit you in the long run. But it says, yet were they drawing swords, which means, ultimately there's a hidden agenda to why he's pushing out these things. And like I said, it's all going into his digital system that he's going to set up, man, his new world order. And all of these things will be implemented in to ultimately keep surveillance on people, know what it is that you're doing at all times, and things of that nature. And ultimately, this is all building up to that MOTB, man. The RFID chip that it tells us about in Revelation 13 and 16, because all of these things are going to be a part of that same system, that same, digital prison that this devil's getting ready to implement soon, man. So I'm going to go to that precept, right? Because that's what we see everything building up with. That's why this technology is getting so advanced and things of that nature, because ultimately they're trying to, through gradualism, of course, allowing people's mind to conform to all of these different things and technologies and stuff that they're coming out with, so that when they do implement in this chip and all of these other different types of things, these people won't have any mind or problem taking it, because they're already going to be conformed to technology, man. Or, they're already going to be, fantasizing about wanting to become like half human, half robot, transhumanism. That's one of the biggest things that they're pushing right now. So, and that's what basically these people are going to become once they take that chip. You're going to be a transhuman, man. You know, you're going to be half machine, half human, and you're ultimately going to be property of this damn devil, man. Right? And that's what everything is building up towards. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16 in the KJV. It says, and he, right, we know who that he is, talking about the man of sin, the devil, the elite banking families, you know, the Rothschilds, the Gettys, the DuPonts, the Rockefellers, all of these different elite Edomites that are in power now that are ruling the earth, right? Causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead. So that's what all of this technology is leading up to, the implementation of the charagma, right? And that's what that word mark mean in the Greek, haragma or charagma, right? Which is an implantable device that's going to be inserted in people's right hand or their left hand, whichever your power hand is, or in your forehead, man. And we see that this technology is already prevalent, is already here in the earth, right? They already have these chips already made. And you already have different types of people around the world that are ultimately, you know, taking these devices and things of that nature. You know, but we know that it's going to be pushed globally on a worldwide scale, you know. And this is verse 17, and it said, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? So, yeah, you know, that's what pretty much all of this stuff is leading up to, the artificial intelligence, all of the line wanders, all of these different types of other things that he's bringing out, you know, because he's ultimately trying to merge people with he's trying to merge human beings with technology. And that's what he's going to do when he brings forth this MOTBC hip, man. But everything that he's doing is ultimately preparing the people's mind to receive it, you know. So, yeah, this is pretty much everything I had to say with today's video. Just something quick through the spirit. I pray it be edifying to you brothers and sisters that come across it. Till the next time, I'm going to say shalom.